Volodymyr Zelenskyy and family life, 1978 to 1995, birth and heritage, born January 25, 1978, in Kryvyi Rih, then Soviet Ukraine, to engineering parents, father Alexander, a computer science professor, and mother Rima, a mechanical engineer. His family is Jewish, and his grandfather served in the Red Army during World War II, losing family in the Holocaust. Childhood abroad and language, lived ages 0 to 4 in Erdenet, Mongolia, where his father worked at a copper mine. Grew up speaking Russian, later studied English, passing a TOEFL exam at 16. Education, studied law at Kryvyi Rih Economic Institute, a KU National Economic University branch. Graduating in 2000, he never practiced law. Entertainment career, 1995 to 2019, comedy, Danki Fatal Sembilan Pulima. At Tajublas, he joined KVN comedy competitions and co-founded the Kevatal 95 troupe in 1997, later converting it into a major production studio. Television and film, from 1997 to 2019. He starred in and produced numerous shows and films, including romantic comedies like Love in the Big City series and Office Romance. Our Time, dubbing Paddington into Ukrainian 2014 and its sequel 2017. His breakout, Servant of the People 2015 to 2019, where he played an anti-corruption history teacher turned president, leading to the real-life founding of a political party by the same name in 2018. Producing and philanthropy, co-founded Studio Kuvatal 95 in 2003, producing hits in both Russian and Ukrainian. During the Donbass conflict, used his platform to support troops with equipment and performances. Political life and presidency, 201-82019. Entry into politics in March 2018, launched the Servant of the People political party. Announced his candidacy on December 31, 2018, 2019 election, first round. March 31st, lead polls. Second round, April 21st. Defeated incumbent Petro Poroshenko with 74 to 75% of valid votes. Turnout was approximately 62%. Inaugurated May 20, 2019, as Ukraine's sixth president. Early reforms and challenges focused on anti-corruption, stripped MPs' immunity, proposed oligarch registry, introduced digital governance, managed cabinet changes during Ukraine's COVID-19 response, faced diplomatic crises, such as the Trump-Ukraine scandal and pressure over Hunter Biden investigations. War. Leadership and global, symbol 202 to 2025, 2022, Russian invasion. Russia launched a full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. Zelenskyy refused evacuation, famously stating, "I need ammunition, not a ride." Wartime leadership broadcast defiant addresses from Kyiv and front lines. Promoted Ukrainian resistance and unity. Recognized for resilience in global forums, US Congress, NATO, Western support and reform. Secured major military aid, for example HIMARS, air defenses and historic sanctions on Russia. Pushed for EU candidate status, June 23, 2022. Stayed in office through multiple assassination attempts by Russian operatives. Personal life and profile. Family, married Alina Zelenska since 2003, who co-studied with him. They have 2 children, Alexandra B., 2008, and Kyrilo B., 2013. Traits and transformation. Initially a genial and media-savvy populist, Zelenskyy transformed into a wartime president, rugged, driven, relentless. Reuters describes him as intense, sleep-deprived, less tolerant of mistakes, prone to paranoia, honors and legacy. Named Times Person of the Year 2022. Profiled in BBC's The Zelenskyy Story documentary. Continues to embody Ukraine's resilience and democratic aspirations. Asterisk, here's a detailed narrative of Volodymyr Zelenskyy's political life and presidency, focusing on his journey from outsider candidate to wartime leader. This section is written in an expanded biographical style and can be used as part of a larger life history. Volodymyr Zelenskyy's political life and presidency. 2018 present, from satire to statesmanship. Volodymyr's entrance into politics was unlike anything modern Ukraine had seen before. A lifelong entertainer with no prior government experience, he turned his popular satirical TV role where he played a humble schoolteacher who accidentally becomes president in a real-life political movement. The show, Servant of the People, captured national frustration with political corruption, oligarchic control, and stagnant reform. Zelenskyy became a blank slate onto which millions projected their hope for a clean, honest, and modern Ukraine. In March 2018, as whispers of his political ambitions grew louder, Zelenskyy and his production company, Kafardal Volodymyr, registered a political party named after the show. On December 31st, 2018, during his traditional New Year's Eve television address, he officially announced his candidacy for the presidency of Ukraine. His campaign was unconventional and digital first. No traditional rallies, minimal political experience, and an almost complete absence of public policy details. He relied on short videos, memes, and direct-to-camera monologues shared via Instagram and YouTube. His platform was simple: end corruption, reform the government, and bring power back to ordinary Ukrainians. The 2019 presidential elections message resonated with a population exhausted by 5 years of war in the Donbass, economic hardship, and political disillusionment. In the first round of voting in March 2019, he led with over 30% of the vote, beating incumbent Petro Poroshenko, a pro-Western technocrat who had led Ukraine since the 2014 Maidan Revolution. In the runoff election on April 21, 2019, achieved a stunning landslide victory, winning more than 73% of the vote. He received support across ethnic, linguistic, and regional lines, a rarity in Ukraine's often divided politics. His win was a rebuke of the old political class and a signal of popular demand for deep reform. Zelenskyy was inaugurated as President of Ukraine on May 20, 2019, promising in his speech to dissolve the parliament, hold new elections, and push forward a bold reform agenda. I do not want my pictures in your offices. The president is not an icon or an idol. Hang photos of your children instead, and look at them each time you are making a decision, he told lawmakers. Early presidency, promise and pitfall. Zelenskyy moved quickly. He dissolved the Rada, Ukraine's parliament, and held snap elections in July 2019, where his newly formed party, Servant of the People, won a single-party majority, the first in modern Ukrainian history. This gave Zelenskyy rare political power to implement his agenda without forming coalitions. Key early priorities included judicial and anti-corruption reform, creating a high anti-corruption court, supporting investigations into misuse of state funds and firing officials linked to past corruption, digitalization of government, launched the DIA app to digitize bureaucratic services and reduce opportunities for bribery, decentralization and deregulation, attempted to cut red tape, remove outdated Soviet regulations, and empower local governments. However, by 2020, His inexperience and reliance on a small circle of aides led to governance challenges, turnover in key positions. Multiple prime ministers and cabinet members were replaced within his first year. COVID-19 response. Ukraine, like much of the world, struggled with the pandemic. Lockdowns and vaccine procurement, slowing reforms. His anti-corruption campaign lost momentum as political resistance and vested interests regrouped. Despite these issues, Zelenskyy retained high approval ratings, thanks in part to his clear communication style and his commitment to staying outside the political elite. Foreign policy and diplomacy. Zelenskyy maintained Ukraine's strong pro-Western orientation, continuing the push toward EU and NATO integration, while also attempting to maintain fragile peace negotiations with Russia. Normandy format talks. He met Russian President Vladimir Putin in December 2019 in Paris, hoping to de-escalate tensions in eastern Ukraine. Though limited prisoner exchanges occurred, the talks failed to halt fighting in the Donbass. US-Ukraine relations. Zelenskyy found himself at the center of a major US political scandal in 2019, a phone call with then-President Donald Trump, in which Trump asked him to investigate Joe Biden and his son, Hunter, led to Trump's first impeachment. Zelenskyy walked a diplomatic tightrope, refusing to get pulled into American politics. The 2022 Russian invasion. Everything changed on February 24, 2022, when Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Western intelligence had warned of the attack, but many, including Zelenskyy, believed it unlikely Putin would mount such a wide assault. When missiles struck cities across Ukraine and Russian tanks rolled toward Kyiv, Zelenskyy remained in the capital, refusing US offers of evacuation. His now famous quote, "I need ammunition, not a ride," became a global symbol of courage. As Ukraine's wartime leader, Zelenskyy transformed overnight from entertainer-politician into a wartime statesman, donning military green clothes and broadcasting daily updates from secure locations. Unified the country across linguistic and regional lines, leading a national resistance effort. Mobilized global support through virtual speeches to the US Congress, British Parliament, EU, UN, and countless global media outlets. His appeals helped secure billions in military and humanitarian aid. Under his leadership, Ukraine halted Russia's advance on key